Hey, this is John Carlos, and I'm here with a look at the DC Collectibles action figure and vehicle set of Batman and the Batcycle. Let me just say up front, I always love the design of the Batcycle from Batman the Animated Series. I like the whole Art Deco design of the show, but one of my favorite Art Deco-y bits is the front tire of the Batcycle, so I'm glad that we have this in toy form. Such a big fan of the design. One little thing, out of the packaging was that this was the side that was facing downward in like the plastic tray, and it's got all sorts of like little factory oil stuff. I've tried to wipe down, but you can still see this big residue blob right there. That kind of bugs me. Displaying on the other side though shows these little holes, so I have to choose between the side with the holes or the side with the oil. Oh well. First things first, you gotta pull this little tab out here to activate this button. This button turns on the lights. We have the front light there. What I really dig is the little brake light back there, and then the lights of his console. This is just one big massive blue light, but you do get to see a sense of the little gauges there. So yeah, you get a little bit of greeny glowy there. But I do like the sculpt with a little pseudo bat symbol right there. Some fun little yellow and red paint for little dials and whatnot. Yeah, some really simple specifics within here, like the little red around the light. Otherwise, you're looking at a really smooth, well done sculpt here. Not a lot of tiny details, sculptural details, but a good shape overall. Again, love the wheel. You have a little pivot point there, so that's fun. Just a little bit. There is an actual wheel underneath. This wheel in the back spins as well. The little hubcap, if you will, stays in place and just the actual wheel goes. Now, it does come with a base, and it's two-sided. One side represents the Bat Cave, and then the other side is like a Gotham City street, and you can take this little action flare-out, drive-away, whatever you want to call it, that also serves as the holding. It holds the rear tire into place, and you could switch it onto both sides, although this side is considerably looser than this side, so I wonder if that's going to be problematic, because this one actually stays in place when you pivot it. Lastly, the other included item in this set is this Batman figure, which is a more noticeably articulated Batman figure than we're used to from DC Collectibles, but it has to be because he has to hit certain pose points to be able to ride the motorcycle. So he's got very noticeably ball-hinged shoulders, swiveling and hinged elbows, swiveling and hinged wrists, with a swivel at the glove, which is a nice touch. Same thing with the boots. We have the hinged swiveling ankles, but we have a swivel mid-calf for the boot, which is just nifty. Double knee joint, very acrobatic legs, so you can sit on the motorcycle. We have a waist swivel, but also we got the little crunch right there in the chest, and then very importantly, which I think is really cool, the head has it's a double ball joint at the base of the neck and the top of the head, so we can get his head to come forward, get his head to come back, but more importantly, get it to look up real good. Now, the design on this head is great. I always liked on the show that his motorcycle helmet was basically just a sturdier cowl that just fit over his head, and they did a great job with the design of his bat helmet. Paint on the eyes and the mouth is really good. What's really fun though is we get a whole second head, which I didn't ask for, but I'm glad they included it. One problem is the hole on this head. Oh, I just snapped it on, so that's good. Earlier I couldn't get this to go on correctly. Very similar head, just doesn't have the open mouth gritting teeth, it just has a boring normal mouth. Pretty serious, straight to the point. I dig it. Another thing worth pointing out is the cape on this is made of first of all, it's fabric, and I normally hate fabric on action figures, but with this, I think the normal rubber cape just wouldn't have done. It wouldn't have worked, so I think going cloth with this was a good approach, but it's a thicker cloth than I'm used to from the likes of Mattel or Hasbro, so that thick fabric along with the wire going in there allows it to hold in place really well, compared to say that 66 Batman and Robin 2-pack that they made, that Mattel made, where Batman and Robin could be posed to be climbing up the roof, and they had, or the side of the building, and they had a wire in the cape, but the wire and the fabric, it didn't really hold upright, whereas this totally holds upright. Just look at that. You can bend it into whatever little positions you want, but the sturdiness of the fabric and the strong wire, this looks awesome. So here it is plopped on the display stand, and it looks pretty good, and that's just the way that the cape kind of naturally laid on the back there. That's without me kind of adjusting the wires and getting it into like an even more specific kind of position. The little notch there has to like kind of clip the motorcycle just right, the wheel there just right to hold it, but you do get the little kind of pivoting effect there. But yeah, this is great with the little wires there. Definitely can get into some fun bendy, whooshy little positions. And let's adjust the head a bit. We can get it, there we go, all the way up like that. And that looks freaking great. You do have to spread his legs pretty far apart to get his feet to line up to the little sides there, but here's just a look just so you can see how wide his legs are, which actually don't look that bad. I think you just more notice it when you're, I don't know, just sort of looking at the figure on its own. But I mean, just considering the width of the cycle, that is what it is. But yeah, the little hooks there for the little notches there for the wheels don't grip the wheel that great, so it's constantly kind of popping out. But still, the little thing right there, the little flaring out, does have a really neat effect. Let's just show you guys what it looks like on the other side. It literally just looks like a gray thing on both sides. Like the front of the motorcycle kind of covers the little manhole. So like essentially, it doesn't matter what side you're displaying this on. It just looks like a gray hunk of plastic. But what a fun looking setup here. I mean, for 60 bucks, considering, you know, a figure itself now is about 25, and you're paying 35 for the motorcycle. Yeah, I really wish, I'm actually not the biggest fan of this little spinny thing, because sometimes it just doesn't stabilize that well. At least on this side. There we go. You know, 35 for the motorcycle, which doesn't have a lot of articulation, but does feature, you know, some light-up elements, and a really strong design, is pretty damn cool. I do think this looks great on the tabletop. I love the design of the cycle. The light-up features to me make the price of this overall quite worth it. Also, you know, a brand new Batman figure, not a repurposed one. New points of articulation. Yeah, don't really like that wobble though. In fact, I just wish it kind of just stabilized. But oh well. If you can get it to kind of to stay just right, you'll have a winner there. But man, this looks cool. So flippin' cool. Really glad that DC Collectibles went around and making this. Love the way the figure looks on here. Yeah, that's enough of my jibber jabber. I like it. Thanks for watching, everybody. And if you want, you can follow me on social medias. Here are the links.